Hello everyone. Before there is any story of us, there is only a movement of nature learning itself. This original element of nature sends its current out to attach because it seeks to learn. But when it is clearly known that all these appearances are not us, that they have no entity of their own, that they arise and dissolve by themselves, the moment this knowledge occurs, the mind immediately loosens. This is because these appearances are heavy, heated, and burdensome. They are states of suffering. They appear only in order to break apart, arising on their own and dissolving on their own. Whatever arises and dissolves by itself has no value in itself. Everything appears only to dissolve by its own nature. This is always the case. Yet the mind has long relied upon these appearances. When the mind truly sees this, it releases what is unstable and uncertain. It lets go completely. It no longer attaches because it knows that these things are not stable or reliable, not us. They are merely appearances that arise and dissolve, states, conditions, heavy and burdensome, not light, not open. If there is someone who is able to point out clearly that when the mind releases, it appears as lightness and openness, that itself is the measure. It is the sign that shows the state of a mind that has loosened from clinging and grasping. The more it releases, the more it knows that it has released. Lightness naturally appears. The nature of the life element of the mind, which has no form, is extremely pure, formless, clear, and pure. We are this formless, clear, pure element. This means it is already light, lighter than what the word light can convey. But if we try creating some appearances, the appearances we create as perception immediately bring heaviness. When we are asleep, there is nothing, no us, no one, no perception, no story, no pleasure or pain, no good or bad, no right or wrong, no true or false. Everything disappears. There is only purity. When we begin to wake up, an awareness starts to function. As soon as the knowing begins to operate, if we observe carefully, a sense of self immediately appears. There is me. There is a knower. Feeling arises, and it is no longer light. If this heaviness is not observed, it is not seen. When it is not observed, when there is no wakeful awareness and no understanding of this nature, the mind flows along with knowing, flowing outward to know things. This is called delight, or being carried away. It flows and becomes absorbed. Yet, even while it is flowing and delighting, this heaviness is present. It is a heaviness that flows outward in order to know things. Do we see this heaviness? Once something is known, a stirring immediately occurs, and value-giving, meaning-making begins. Meaning is given that it is morning, that it is cold, that it is this time or that time. The mind begins to give meaning to what is known. Do we see this stirring that gives meaning in this way? It is a heavy state. Do we see this heaviness? It is a state that has begun to fabricate. The very act of thinking is already heavy. It can be clearly seen that it is becoming heavy, creating stories, creating states of suffering, a current of stirring and fabrication. When we begin to send the current outward, all these things appear right in front of us. If we know and understand that these states are all heavy, that they are all part of the cycle of suffering, and that they are not us, having heard the clarification that I have already expressed, that we have no form, that we are the life element itself, formless, empty, clear, and deeply pure, yet we still begin to create these states. They are heavy states, heated states, states that arise and dissolve. They are states of suffering. They are fabricated states. This sense of me itself is the condition of fabrication, the condition of the cycle of suffering. In truth, the real sense of me has no form and no state at all. There is only life. We are life. Yet we begin to hold on to the idea that we have form, that there is knowing, that there is thinking, that meaning must be given. When we have not yet arrived at this understanding, even simply inclining toward and accepting this truth, we continue to flow outward along the current of knowing and thinking. Heaviness arises again, states that become emotions. The emotion of not wanting to get up, the emotion of wanting to keep sleeping. These emotions gradually grow heavier. Pleasure and displeasure begin to take shape. If we observe these states, we will see that they are heavy. They are states that have deviated from what is normal. As we flow along with these states, normality is lost and fabrication takes over. This is the sensual realm, the realm in which the mind surges outward, wanting things to be one way and not another. For example, wanting to keep sleeping, not wanting to wake up, thinking that it is not quite morning yet, and that it would be better to sleep a little longer. Pleasure and displeasure created through fabrication. This is the sensual realm. It is a realm of states in which the mind stirs, fabricates, and then sinks into those states. Grasping them, holding them close, or pushing them away. Embracing these states is the sensual realm, and rejecting these states is also the sensual realm. But do you know that before these states arise, before it becomes the sensual realm, something comes first? There first arises the realm of being and non-being, of having and not having, of is and is not. This is called becoming and non-becoming. It is a realm that we take to be real, to be something that exists, because it arises from the mind sending its current out to attach to a state, and then assigning it as existing or not existing. Simply observe the moment when the current is sent out to attach. When it has not yet attached to any state, there is no state at all, like when we are asleep. When asleep, there is no state whatsoever. That is the nature of the mind when it has not yet sent its current out to attach to anything. But the moment awareness begins, in that very instant, becoming and non-becoming arise. Do we see that meaning-making immediately appears, assigning that there is me, or that there is no me? Giving meaning that there is no me is non-becoming, while the feeling that there is me is becoming. This is the act of entering and possessing a state, and from this, heaviness arises. The more we try to see that there is nothing, it arises. The more we try to see that there is something, it arises. Flowing along and giving meaning that there is, flowing along and giving meaning that there is not, these movements are the arising of the cycle, the arising of heaviness. These states of suffering are clearly present right in front of us. This truth is right here, yet we do not understand it. When this natural current is not understood, the mind continues to send its current out to attach and rely on things. Perception arises, followed by stirring and meaning-making toward what is perceived, giving meaning to what is seen, and fabricating further by assigning meaning to form as this time or that time. Then thinking continues, fabrication continues, pleasure and displeasure arise, such as not wanting to get up, feeling the cold, wanting to stay warm under the blanket a little longer. Sometimes there is the urge to get up, sometimes the sense of enough already. All of this stirring and meaning-making gives the impression that we have a life, that we have an entity, that we are truly lying there. But the mind does not sleep. The mind does not feel cold or heat. The mind does not lie warm under a blanket, because the mind has no form. We are a formless nature. We merely make use of these states, but do we know that we are only making use of them? Can we simply observe whether, right now, we are sending a current to attach to this state? Once the current attaches to a state, there is an immediate taking hold that there is knowing, either that there is a me who knows or that there is a me who does not know. Meaning is given instantly. At the same time, becoming and non-becoming arise, the feeling that there is me knowing or me not knowing. The moment this occurs, fabrication begins. Meaning is given to that state, and it is either embraced or pushed away. That very movement is what is called the arising of the sensual realm, the realm of the mind surging outward to attach, to hold close, or to reject. This is why we cannot be free from the cycle, unless a sage points out the way to resolve it. At every moment when the stirring of perception or fabrication appears, it flows outward. A current is sent out to know whatever state arises, attaching to knowing, attaching to thinking, attaching to imagining, or to any remembered emotion. Whatever the moment may be, each moment is always the present. It is as if, no matter where we might go in the infinite universe, we are always at the center. Wherever we go, it is always the center. Everything stirs outward from that center. Even now, when we think hungry, the word hungry is the center of the element itself. When we think of food, that word too is the center of the element. Whatever meaning we give, such as a lot, that word is also the center of the element. Do you know that practice is not what people usually think it is? People think there are stories, being aware in time or not being aware in time, and they try to practice in many forms in order to keep up. When they cannot keep up, suffering arises. But do you know that all states always stir at the center? There is always a center. It is always the present. It can be said that now, this now, is everything. As we send the current outward to perceive and begin to stir by giving meaning to that state as being 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, an image arises of what 4 or 5 a.m. means. Memory appears, and pleasure or displeasure arises. Embracing or rejecting the sense of 4 or 5 a.m., the darkness, the cold, the various conditions that appear each time. For example, in the first moment, a sensation arises. In the next moment, there is the sense that there is me. In the next moment, there is the thought, it's 4 a.m. While giving meaning that it is 4 or 5, the thought continues by giving meaning that this is a clock. Then another thought arises, I don't want to get up. The emotion present in this moment is displeasure. At the same time, another emotion appears, pleasure in the warmth and in being able to continue sleeping. These states are what can be called heavy states. They are states that have shifted away from what is normal because in their natural condition they are not heavy. The mind has no form, clear, deeply pure, formless. We are this purity. Yet there are certain states called the mental element, which are fabricated states, also referred to as mental formations. They are stirring states, the state of knowing, the state of thinking, the state of imagining, states that appear as pleasure or displeasure, and states called memory. All of these states function moment by moment, what we may label as the first moment, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, seventh, eighth, and so on. But do you know that every moment occurs only now? In truth, there is no first moment and no second moment. The instant one state arises, it is immediately replaced by another state, and that state is immediately replaced by yet another, continuously. Every state appears and dissolves instantly, and then a new stirring state appears right now. When it is seen clearly, there is only this: now, now, now. The state of now appears fully and completely at all times. We only need to understand this truth. This understanding is the sign that the pure element within us has received knowledge. The mind seeks precisely this kind of knowledge. When the mind receives this knowledge, it transforms into a different quality, a quality that no longer sends its current out to attach to states. This is what the mind is seeking. The mind seeks transformation, and once the mind has transformed, it no longer creates these states, no longer sends its current out to attach to any state. This transformation of the elemental nature is the heart of liberation, the end of suffering, the end of the cycle. No matter which moment is being spoken of, do you see that every moment spoken of always contains now, and now passes with every moment? This means there is only now, which cannot be grasped, now without an entity, without an owner. It is like drawing a long line. The line itself has no true length. There is only a single point appearing. But when that single point is joined again and again, it is assigned value as distance and time, and then further assigned as having length up to a certain point. Do you know that the many dimensions arise from a single dimension, and that this single dimension arises from no dimension at all? This is the original element. Everything I have spoken of has nothing to do with animals, persons, identities, us, or them. It has nothing to do with being human. This is what practice truly is. Practice is about the mind learning its own states, until there is clear knowing that mental states have no entity of their own. They are simply states of a natural current. When the mind sees this truth, it no longer sends its current out to cling to these states. This is called the transformation of the mind. This transformation is a change in the quality of the elemental nature, from an element that sends its current out to create many states, into a pure element that does not send its current out to attach to any state. A mind that has transformed in this way can be said to have realized the truth, to have reached the elemental reality, to have come to know its own original element. It learns its own elemental nature by learning all states, until it sees that all states arise from the original element. Then the knowing of the original element arises. This knowing is a knowledge that has long been concealed. It is the knowledge of the origin of all things. All three realms, the infinite universes, and all infinite dimensions are created from this original element. The second dimension arises from one dimension. The third dimension, which is form, also arises from one dimension. Countless subtle dimensions, so many they have no end and no boundary, arise from this one dimension. This one dimension is always the present. It is right now. It is a single moment, the moment of knowing. In that moment, one dimension arises. A certain state appears for a moment, along with the assumption that this state truly exists. But do you know that this one dimension, this single momentary state, arises from the pure elemental nature of the mind? It arises from having no dimension at all, from the elemental nature itself. The elemental nature seeks to learn. When the elemental nature has learned, it transforms and no longer sends its current out to learn again. It is like building a school. Once a school is built, we must go to school. but we go to school in order to graduate. When we have graduated, we no longer need to go to school. The school still exists, but we do not go there anymore. It is as if the school no longer exists for us. We build a school because we want to learn. We build a school so that we can go and learn. We create form so that name can go in and learn. Form is the school. Learning is the learning. After we have built the school, why do we go there? The point is to graduate. Once we have graduated, we no longer need to go to school. Does the school still exist? It exists just as it is. It remains what it is, a place for those who do not yet know to go and learn. But once we have graduated, that place remains the same. There is simply no us going there anymore. It has ended. Learning is complete. We know that the school is a place for those who have not yet learned to go and learn. But when someone has truly known and realized, it is no longer necessary. Therefore, there is no need to go to school anymore. Not going to school is called completion. It is called realization, attainment, knowing, reaching, finishing, enough, stopping. When there is no going to school, the school no longer exists for that person. The school becomes valueless by itself. Even if the school still exists, it has no value because learning has been completed. Do you understand this? For one who has realized, for a mind that has realized the 5 states, the 5 states still exist. Yet this mind no longer sends its current to study within those 5 states, no longer sends its current to possess them. It can be said to be free, realized, finished, stopped, enough. Just as we go to school in order to graduate, the school remains as it is, but there is no longer anyone going there. The school has not disappeared. It is still there as it is. But the one who goes to learn is no longer there. Therefore, the school becomes valueless by itself. When the school is valueless by itself, the one who went to school is free from the school, free because of realization. When there is no knowing, one goes to school. But when there is realization, there is no need to go to school anymore. The school becomes merely so. Even if it exists, it is merely so. Because we no longer go to school, it is as if there is no school at all. This is called realization. Graduation is what is meant by enough. This is what is meant by stopping. Have we stopped yet? Are we still going to school? Are we still busy with school? Are we still struggling to learn? If so, we are those who have not yet realized, those who have not yet graduated, those who are still seeking, those who must still pass examinations in school. Is that not so? But those who have passed, who have finished, are no longer troubled. These are those who have graduated. One who has graduated, who has known, no longer goes to school. We rely on the state of knowing that is present now in the same way that we rely on a school uniform. Why? Because we still need to go to school. Why do we rely on this knowing? Why does perception still require the sense that there is me who knows? Even though we know and understand, we still rely on knowing because we still need to learn. But one who has graduated no longer needs to rely on knowing. They no longer rely on it. Yet knowing still functions. It remains as it is, just like a school uniform. After we graduate, does the school uniform still exist? It still exists in the world. Whether we wear it or not, it has no value because we are no longer going to school. Even if there is a school uniform at home, even if we put it on, it does not take us to school. Do you understand this? It is the same. Even though the state of knowing still functions just as before, we no longer rely on knowing in order to learn anything. We let it know in its own way. We let thinking think in its own way. We let mental images imagine in their own way. We let emotions, pleasure, pain, calmness, restlessness, liking, disliking, be as they are. We let memory be as it is. We no longer make use of these in order to learn, yet they still remain as they are. Do you understand this? It is the same as going to school, building a school in order to learn, creating form so that name can enter and fabricate. The goal is learning. When we have graduated, when it is clearly known that these things are merely tools, we no longer go to school and no longer go to learn. Form and name then become valueless by themselves. This voice, once it is clearly known to be a tool, something used within the conventional world, not us, once it is learned and clearly known to be not us, it can be said that learning is complete. This voice then becomes valueless by itself. Even if the voice is still present, there is no one who takes hold of it or relies on it in order to learn. We are here to awaken to the fact that we are not these states. These states are merely states, merely tools, states that we have been making use of all along. I point out the states, point out the school, and have you go to learn with the goal of knowing. When knowing has occurred, the school is no longer necessary. Learning is no longer necessary. Because there is clear knowing, it is called realization, completion. It is like clearly knowing that there is no us. We rely on knowing, on thinking, on imagining, on emotional states, on memory. All of this in order to learn. But now it is seen, clearly known, that there is no us. When learning has been completed, and it is directly realized that there is no us, there is no longer any need to rely on knowing, thinking, imagining, emotions or memory. Even though these states continue to function, they are valueless by themselves because nothing is needed from relying on them anymore. Knowing still knows as before. Thinking still thinks as before. Speaking still happens as before. Yet it is merely so, simply as it is, because we no longer rely on it with the hope of learning. This voice, this language, is therefore valueless by itself. We no longer seek to learn anything from it. There is still voice, still mental imagery, still emotion, still memory, but nothing is needed from these tools anymore, because learning is complete through the clear, knowing that there is no us. The knowledge that knows there is no us, that itself is completion, that itself is realization. How is it known that it is complete? It is known through the state of knowing that illuminates by itself, that there is no us present right now at all. This voice is not our voice at all. It can never be us. It is simply one state, one aspect of nature. The state of knowing is one aspect of nature. Mental images, emotions, and thoughts are aspects of nature that we once relied on in order to learn. But once learning is complete, they return to being nature itself, simply as they are. We no longer rely on them to learn, yet they remain as they are. It is like wearing a school uniform to go to school. We go to school in order to graduate. Once we have graduated, the school uniform still exists just as before. We may wear it or not wear it, it makes no difference. But we no longer go to school. The school still remains there, but we do not go there in order to learn anymore. Even if we drive past the school or walk into the school grounds, we are not going there to study. The school remains as it is. Even though there is still a school, still the activity of learning, we no longer want anything from either the school or learning. This is what is called completion. It is called realization. It is called stopping. It is called enough. We have stopped because it is clearly known that there is no us. There is only nature as it is. There is the school and there is learning, but there is no one who goes to school and no one who goes to learn. In this pure element, there is no form and no name. Even if they appear, they are simply as they are. Even if the school uniform exists, whether we wear it or not has no effect because nothing is needed from it anymore. Even though there may still be a school and still be learning, they are no longer of any use to us because we no longer want anything. This is what is meant by stopping. The school still exists as before. The uniform still exists as before. But we have stopped. Even though there may still be reliance, nothing is wanted from that reliance anymore. Do you understand this? Knowing still occurs, but we do not rely on knowing. It continues to perform its function as it is. Nothing is wanted from knowing anymore. Nothing is wanted from this voice anymore. Yet there is still voice, still words within the mind, still thoughts. Whether we call it voice, thought, or speech is no longer important. It is simply something that is as it is. The speaking voice is like this. Mental images are like this. Emotions and memories are like this. They are simply as they are. They have no value. They are nothing in particular. They are simply as they are. It is simple because it is seen that knowing is simply as it is and learning is simply as it is. When both school and learning no longer hold any value for us, school and learning become valueless by themselves. Form and name also become valueless by themselves. This state of knowing is then merely knowing as it is. Thinking, imagining, emotional states, understanding and remembering are likewise merely as they are. This is what is meant by being free from school and learning. We came to school and came to learn for one purpose only, to complete them. Practice too is undertaken so that it may be known that we are the life element, formless, empty, clear, and pure. When this mind has clearly realized this, it no longer sends its current out to attach to any state. There is continuous fullness and purity. There is no doubt, nothing left to question, because it is already known, already finished. There is no task left to do. What remains is only the transmission of this awakening, so that the world may awaken and be free from the cycle. This is so because such a resolve has been established, just as the awakened one established the resolve to lead all minds beyond the cycle. Those who establish such a resolve naturally fulfill the role of leading all minds beyond the cycle. It is simply this way. The element of truth is established in this way. It is as it is. There is no one going to school and no one going to learn. There is only the transmission of knowledge, so that there is no need to go to school and no need to learn. When this knowledge is received, it is finished. School is valueless. Learning is valueless. Form and name are valueless. Because school is form and learning is name, they are valueless by themselves. Form and name, subject and action are valueless by themselves. Action cannot arise. Subject, action, and result. These three are stories of the conventional world. In the conventional world, action arises from activity and from a subject. When there is no subject, action is valueless, and the result does not arise. But whenever there is still a subject, action inevitably arises and result inevitably follows. The subject is the root cause. When it is clearly realized that there is no subject, it is clearly understood that action is valueless and result is valueless. And with this, we may stop here. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.